Hello and welcome to this edition of Eat Right with Rouses. I'm your host, Keith Weissite, licensed clinical social worker with Terrebonne Home Care. Very glad you're joining us. As always, we are very glad to have one of our most knowledgeable dietitians in the area, Miss April Sins. Hello, April.
Hello, Keith. Thank you so much for having me today.
Absolutely. I am looking forward to this wonderful, wonderful menu option you have for us today.
Keith, I am too. And if you could smell my kitchen right now, it's just going to make you hungry, okay?
I promise.
We are going to be making a really easy dish that's super simple for summer. A lot of times we're still busy during the summer. Even though it's not the school year, we still tend to fill up the time with a lot of other things. So when you're looking for that easy go-to meal, think about Rouses shrimp.
Right.
And the Rouses shrimp is a frozen shrimp in the bag. You can also buy fresh Rouses shrimp at Rouses as well. But what I love about this shrimp in the bag is I can keep it in my freezer and just have it ready to pop out anytime that I want. And what's great about shrimp is it cooks really quickly and it doesn't take a long time to make that meal. And what I have right here is we're making a garlic shrimp dish. Now,
Okay.
I've kind of partially cooked my shrimp a little bit just to make it a little bit quicker for our segment today. But what you're going to do is you're going to start off with your shrimp. If you have them already thawed, that's great because you can pour that thawed water off. If you're going to cook it in the pan, you could throw the frozen shrimp right in the pan and kind of thaw them in the pan. But once you do that, some of that water is going to leach off of it. So throw that water out just so that it's not overly watery in the pan. But I'm going to take one of my favorite ingredients, that Rouses olive oil that comes straight from Italy. I'm going to put about 2 tablespoons of that in my pan. And what we're going to do, and this is kind of like a lightened up version of garlic shrimp. So we're using that olive oil, which is our good fats.
Right.
We can, a lot of times you might find it real rich with a lot of butter or cream sauce or something. You don't have to use that. This will keep it nice and light for that summer meal. And what we're going to do is we're going to be adding in some fresh garlic. Now, sometimes I am known to use I call it a cheater garlic, which is already chopped up and minced.
Right.
You can totally do that, but there is a little something different about when you get that fresh garlic and you make it in some slices to add it to this dish. You kind of get a lot of flavor that comes from it without having to use like a ton of it. But we like garlic at my house, and if you worry about your breath, you can get some gum at Rouses whenever you're checking out, okay?
You got to go with the flavor profile first.
Go with the flavor profile,
That's right.
and you can always,
a little gum
brush your
later.
teeth and chew some gum after, okay?
I like it. What's next?
What we're going to do next is we're going to add some paprika, some red pepper flakes, and a little bit of salt.
Okay.
And that's going to add in all of our seasoning right there. And while that's marinating together and cooking together, I'm going to cut up a little bit of parsley. What my secret is for the parsley is I grab some fresh parsley at Rouses. I leave it in a bunch and I wash it as a bunch. And that way, whenever I'm chopping it, it's already kind of bunched together and it makes it a little bit easier to chop it.
Yes.
What's beautiful about this is watch how this is going to just beautify. Boom. Okay. Look at this green with this. Let me give you an up close look. The green with the shrimp and the garlic, and you could just see how the flavors are coming together.
Right. I would say that's impressive, but you're killing me.
Isn't that awesome?
It just is. And then the red pepper flakes, make it, and the paprika. So you got those reds in there, the opaque color of the shrimp, and then the greenery with the chopped parsley is just, looks too good.
So good. It brings it out. Like I always say, when you add that touch of that green, the fresh seasonings, all those things, it just like makes the whole dish pop. And it just really brings out everything and marries it all together. Yep. Now, let me show you one other thing, Keith, is that I'm going to put it over some rice.
Okay.
I got some local rice here. I think this is the Parish rice. And then I also have some of my lime, some fresh lime. So you could squeeze that fresh lime over the shrimp, and it's just going to make a beautiful, beautiful, easy, quick dish for the summer and still keeping it light. You're still keeping it's not a super heavy dish. You can cook it a little bit longer to your liking if you want those greens cooked down. But my shrimp is done, and it's just going to make such a beautiful, simple meal that really the whole family will love.
Fantastic. Yep.
And just squeeze that lime on top.
Yep. So you get the parish rice, which is local. We do limes out the backyard since my wife has a lemon tree and a lime tree. And so we just kind of pull that from the backyard. But again, the products that you have are also simple. They're all right there from Rouses. And I will tell you, we have that Rouses shrimp in our freezer. And I love the fact that they're all so consistent to size. They're exactly the size that they say they are, which is wonderful. That way you can do out your measurements very easily. And just a bag of those will feed the family. And I can only imagine what that beautiful garlic and those fresh ingredients smell like in your kitchen.
It smells fantastic. Yes. Thank you, Keith. Yeah, this is the 2135 count. And there's the different sizes right there in the freezer case of the seafood and meat department at Rouses. So you can definitely find everything that you need to make, from your stews to your gumbos to your sauté dishes, all of those dishes. And it just makes it really, really easy. And you can keep it in your freezer. That's the best part that I love, is like I can keep it in my freezer and just have it ready to go whenever I need it.
Speaking of ready to go, we'll be ready to take a trip over to April's house as we enjoy that wonderful dish of garlic shrimp. A wonderful light recipe. Thank you as always. We appreciate what you do and how well you do it, especially with us saving a few calories along the way.
Absolutely. Thank you, Keith.
All right, guys, that'll do it for this particular edition of Eat Right with Rouses, but don't go anywhere. A lot more local programming right here on HTV.